What if I told you that right now, while you're watching this, an entire nation is being quietly transformed by machines that think, drive, operate, and even perform surgery without human hands? What if the future everyone's been predicting isn't coming in 10 years or 20 years, but is already operational today in ways that would make science fiction writers jealous? There's a technological revolution happening on the other side of the world that's moving so fast, so comprehensively, that by the time most people realize what's changed, it'll already be too late to catch up. We're not talking about a few impressive gadgets or isolated tech demos. We're talking about an entire country systematically replacing human labor with artificial intelligence and robotics across every sector simultaneously: transportation, healthcare, agriculture, construction, retail, security, everything. And the most unsettling part?
Most of the Western world has absolutely no idea how far ahead China has already gotten. This isn't about politics or taking sides. This is about recognizing a fundamental shift in human civilization that's happening right now, and understanding what it means when one nation decides to go all in on automation, while others are still debating whether it's even a good idea. Let me show you exactly what's being built, and why it should fundamentally change how you think about the next decade. Let's start with something deceptively simple that reveals how differently China approaches technology deployment: food delivery. Remember when getting pizza meant calling a restaurant, waiting 30 to 45 minutes, and hoping it arrived somewhat warm? That's still reality for most of the world. But in China, that entire system has been replaced by autonomous drones that deliver food in exactly 15 minutes with precision timing that makes traditional delivery look primitive. A company called Meituan has already completed over 300,000 drone deliveries. That's enough to serve every resident of a medium-sized city. These aren't experimental test flights or limited pilot programs. This is operational infrastructure where drones fly predetermined routes and deposit packages into automated collection points, eliminating the entire concept of waiting for a human delivery driver. But in rural areas, the system gets even more impressive. JD.com operates heavy-lift drones capable of carrying between 5 to 30 kilograms. They literally call it a pickup truck in the sky, connecting remote villages that never had access to rapid delivery services before. Think about what this represents. While most countries are still debating drone regulations and running small-scale tests, China has already moved past the experimental phase and into mass deployment of autonomous aerial logistics networks. But delivery drones are just the warm-up act. This year alone, 15 million new vehicles sold in China will have autonomous driving capabilities built in as standard equipment. That means 2 out of every 3 new cars rolling off production lines can operate without human drivers touching the steering wheel. But there's one vehicle that represents something fundamentally different from anything Western automakers have produced: the Gigi Auto L7. Marketed as the world's first vehicle with genuine artificial intelligence integration, isn't just self-driving. It's a car that thinks and communicates like a companion. The vehicle features an AI assistant called IMAD that you interact with conversationally as naturally as talking to a friend. You can stand outside your car and say, "Come pick me up," and it will autonomously navigate to your location from up to 2 kilometers away. The sensor array powering this is genuinely staggering. Dual NVIDIA Orin chips, delivering 508 tera operations per second of AI computing power, 11 high-definition cameras, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and 5 different radar systems. That's more sensory input than military drones. This vehicle can park itself in complex environments, execute lane changes, avoid obstacles dynamically, recognize traffic signals, and even make unprotected left turns through busy intersections. One of the most challenging scenarios in autonomous driving. Then there's BYD's Yangwang U8, which does something that seems physically impossible until you see it: a tank turn, spinning 360 degrees in place like a top. The vehicle's 4 independent electric motors can rotate each wheel in opposite directions, allowing it to pivot without moving forward or backward. It can also crab walk sideways into parking spaces by coordinating all 4 wheels to move in the same lateral direction. But here's where it gets genuinely wild. The Yangwang U8 can drive into water nearly 5 feet deep, float like a boat, and actually propel itself through water at 3 kilometers per hour by spinning its wheels. Imagine encountering a flood, and instead of being stranded, simply driving your vehicle into the water and boating to safety. It can maintain buoyancy for 30 full minutes. This isn't a concept vehicle or prototype. You can purchase this technology right now. The IM Motors L6 can slide horizontally into parking spots using four-wheel steering and independent electric motors, reducing required parking space by 11% with a turning circle of just 4.99 meters, half the size of conventional vehicles. Even more remarkably, the BYD Seal performs parallel parking by power sliding into tight spaces, using its electric motors to spin rear wheels in opposite directions while front wheels provide the pivot point. And if you think that's the peak of what BYD has engineered, wait until you hear about their U9 supercar. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.36 seconds, faster than you can verbally say super speed. It recently shattered speed records by reaching 496.22 kilometers per hour, making it not just the fastest Chinese-produced car ever built, but the fastest production car currently available anywhere in the world. But here's the absolutely mind-bending capability. The BYD Yangwang U9 can literally dance. This $236,000 supercar features something called the Dessous system that can make the vehicle jump up to 75 millimeters in the air, hop over obstacles, and synchronize movements to music. You can watch a 1,287 horsepower supercar performing choreographed dance routines. The incredible part is this isn't merely a party trick. The system reacts in just 40 milliseconds and can lift each wheel 75 millimeters at speeds up to 500 millimeters per second, faster than human reaction time. And BYD is selling these dancing supercars for $236,000, while comparable Ferraris cost over $500,000. Here's what should terrify traditional automakers. BYD just became the first manufacturer globally to produce 10 million new energy vehicles. But there's a cultural difference that's even more significant than the technology itself. Surveys show 85% of Chinese consumers are completely comfortable with autonomous vehicles driving them around, while only 39% of Americans feel the same way. China is literally racing into an automated future, while other nations remain hesitant to embrace it. They're testing autonomous taxis in 19 different cities, with 16,000 test vehicles operating on 32,000 kilometers of designated roads. That's enough distance to circle the entire Earth and still have routes remaining. Now, electric vehicles are transforming transportation, but they've always had one critical limitation: charging time. BYD just solved that problem in a way that makes gasoline refueling seem slow by comparison. Their new battery technology charges so rapidly that 5 minutes of charging provides 400 kilometers of driving range. That's like driving between cities with just a quick bathroom break's worth of charging time. They call it the 1 megawatt charging system. That's 1,000 times more power than charging your smartphone. It's now genuinely faster to charge an electric vehicle than to fill a tank with gasoline. But China hasn't stopped with ground transportation. They've built trains that don't touch the ground at all. They float using magnetic levitation. These Maglev trains recently reached 404 miles per hour in just 7 seconds of acceleration. That's faster than most aircraft during takeoff. In testing environments, one train reached over 620 miles per hour, literally faster than commercial airplanes cruising at altitude. With trains this fast, traveling from Beijing to Shanghai takes just 2.5 hours instead of 5.5 hours. If floating trains at 620 miles per hour seem incredible, here's what should really concern global competitors. China isn't just building futuristic technology, they're building futuristic minds to operate it. While most countries teach children basic computational skills, China is systematically training their youth to become AI experts from childhood. Starting this year, every child in Beijing as young as 6 years old is required to complete at least 8 hours of AI education every school year. That's millions of children learning to work with artificial intelligence before they've mastered multiplication tables. China has designated 184 schools for testing even more advanced AI curricula. By the time these children reach adulthood, they'll be controlling technologies that don't exist yet. There seems to be almost no sector where China hasn't deployed AI. But have you ever imagined building an entire highway without a single human construction worker? China just accomplished exactly that. They recently constructed a road using 100 autonomous haul trucks, massive machines that can each transport 85 tons and operate completely autonomously. No human drivers, no brakes even in temperatures as extreme as -40 degrees Celsius. Chinese companies have deployed entire robotic construction fleets, including 10 autonomous road rollers and 2 giant automated pavers that build highways using GPS and intelligent algorithms. They're literally building the roads that other robots will drive on. China's stated goal: deploy 5,000 autonomous haul trucks across the country by year's end. Flying within China feels like stepping decades into the future. At 62 airports, 557 security channels use facial recognition technology, eliminating the need for tickets or identification cards. The system recognizes passengers simply by scanning their faces. At Shanghai Hongqiao Airport, you can check in, deposit luggage, clear security, and board your flight without speaking to a single person. The entire process takes just 12 seconds per passenger. Beijing's largest airport operates over 600 biometric checkpoints, 250 automatic gates, and 80 self-service stations, all powered by facial recognition. Everything happens automatically, as cameras do the recognition work. But it extends far beyond airports. Throughout China, cameras are omnipresent, watching, analyzing, and recognizing faces in real time. China has installed more than 200 million surveillance cameras, 4 times more than the entire United States. They call it the Skynet system, and it uses facial recognition to track virtually every person in the country. The technology is sophisticated enough to catch jaywalkers, identify anyone not wearing required masks, and supposedly even predict crimes before they occur. Police officers wear AI-powered smart helmets that can scan crowds and instantly identify wanted criminals. This technology is incredibly powerful, and China is advancing with AI implementation while much of the rest of the world struggles to keep pace. Most of us make payments by scanning cards or using mobile phones, right? China has taken it several steps further. There you can make payments without cards or even phones. They're doing it with palm recognition. It might sound like science fiction, but it's operational reality. Millions of people in China already pay for purchases just by showing their hand. Tencent's WeChat Palm Pay scans the unique lines and vein patterns in your palm. It's more secure than fingerprints and faster than retrieving a wallet. Over 1,500 retail locations already use it with an error rate of less than 1 in a million. Students use it at universities, travelers use it on trains, and soon people may not need cash, cards, or even mobile devices to complete transactions. But Chinese citizens aren't just going cashless. They're letting robots perform their jobs. There's a robot in China approximately as tall as a 10-year-old child that can execute perfect martial arts techniques, dance professionally, and run faster than most adults. The Unitree G1 robot stands 1.32 meters tall and weighs 35 kilograms with its battery. It has 23 articulated joints enabling human-like motion. It can walk, run, jump, sit, stand, shake hands, and wave with remarkable balance and precision. It moves so naturally you'd think there's a person inside. But it's not just for demonstration. The G1 can assist with practical tasks like carrying objects, opening containers, or cleaning spaces. When you're bored, it can perform kung fu routines or any choreography you program. It's smart enough to fold itself for easy storage or transport. And the real shocker, it costs just $16,000. That might seem expensive until you realize other humanoid robots cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. China is building androids. Robots that look exactly like humans with realistic skin, perfect teeth, and eyes that blink naturally. These robots have 140 different facial and body movements, more than most humans. They cost approximately $280,000 each and require a month to manufacture because every detail must be perfect, down to individual skin pores. X Robots has already built over 200 humanoid robots and now produces 500+ units annually in their massive factory. They've even created robot versions of famous scientists like Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and Thomas Edison that can narrate their life stories. These robots already work in science museums, hotels, schools, and government offices across China.
Here's what's genuinely frightening. In a few years, you might not be able to distinguish whether you're speaking with a human or a robot. What happens when these become affordable for everyone? And this is just the beginning. Every single technology we've discussed will become better, faster, and cheaper. The question isn't whether this future is coming, it's already here. The question is when will it spread globally, and are we ready for a world where machines know everything about everyone?